Okay, so welcome back. So here we are back to the Senshus, and we just had a weekend full of surprises, full of good things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a double episode, and this episode is just gonna be a solo Punisher full season review, full on binge, full on horror. I'm here. I'm Chase. I'm here with James, and you know us, and we know you. So let's get right into it. So. James, overall thoughts before you break it down.
Loved it. Loved every single minute of it. From Frank's little moments when he's threatening a kid with a knife.
In a Wu-Tang shirt. In a Wu-Tang shirt.
In a parental guidance that has obviously sort of like survived from the 1950s.
Parenting tips from the Punisher.
To straight away play football with him and not kind of like, I'll tell you what, when I have a kid, I can't wait to have him open up at the threat of instant death. To eye gouging moments,
no, I couldn't even watch that.
And absolutely, I mean, I was wondering how they were going to bring Jigsaw into it, and sort of like how he was going to get his wounds. I was not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. That guy had it coming.
Yeah. Oh God,
there was not many people in there where I thought, no, Frank went a bit over the top with how he kind of like it. That scene when all the freaking military guys came in and John Bernthal, absolutely freaking awesome, man. That psycho, that that he kind of like that. I was doing that just on walking the dog when it was cold. I was just like, so Karen Page, good, for what she was in.
And that best episode, when she was kidnapped in the Rashomon episode.
Oh man, absolutely brilliant. Loved all the direction that he was taking, the use of micro, everything in it was. It felt really
all
good.
The way down to like kissing Micro's wife. I mean, every time he entered that house,
knew that was going to go on. But how did Frank? Frank was definitely not into. He kind of like gripped her. No. She went for it. He gripped her ass, realized what he was doing. Then turned away. Love Micro kind of like trying to sell how big his dick is. Kind of like so that was.
Well, I could tell you've done that.
But it's sort of like I'm not.
Not just how big his dick was, but also hey, have a view, have a backyard view. Why don't you? It's what does he want?
Those little light moments that they just worked really well to break up the Frank character a little bit. Because if they didn't have scenes like that, it would have just felt like a one long 1980s slog through stuff. But
so you're pretty much going all the way down the road, and I just said, what did you like? So, I agree with everything you said, first of all, but what I meant was an overall impressions was it's like was it what you expected? Were you disappointed? I mean, a lot of haters were complaining about slow moments, which were actually, if they actually read the comics, especially Punisher's War General, this is exactly the Punisher. The Punisher is very, story driven.
Yeah. Things I wanted to see in a Punisher thing series was a lot of kind of like pathos about his character, about this confusing thing that he wants to do, because he wants to. At the beginning of it, they were like, his mission's over, and that he's just found out his mission isn't over, and it's that basis.
Yeah, again, you're jumping ahead, but
but I wanted to see that. I also wanted to see at least one Punisher prep scene. A Punisher prep scene where he preps, and we got an awesome one. That was like the N18 moment. That was awesome. Then you had the Punisher going Punisher, and there was so many great things from it, so many good characters that were there. So all the side characters really enjoyed
right.
it.
So I mean, again, just overall thoughts first.
So
I mean, basically, it was great. I was able to binge it pretty much somewhat straight through. I mean, given enough, 2 days, but pretty much straight through. I mean, I didn't find any lull moments.
Nope.
I will say that I was kind of surprised that the trailer that we got was pretty much near the end. And I could also say there wasn't enough shooting, but I will say that when the shooting happened, it was boom. It was booyah. It was like, yes, this is the Punisher. So it was great that you got that, So anyway, let's kind of go from the beginning now. I thought that, it was an interesting start, but it was kind of if I had to say something that was disappointing, I would say what disappointed me was what's the kid's name? The first kid he meets.
The Latin guy.
Yeah.
Eduardo or something like
And
that.
yeah,
So.
no, I don't think it was Eduardo. But when he was working in construction, and Punisher was just kind of like, just going through his day, just trying to get by, and this kid who they overplayed his like enthusiasm, and I was wondering where's this going? Where's the storyline going? And obviously it was to endear him to the Punisher. Like when I'm talking about his dad and everything else like that, and he was going to become some type of sacrificial lamb.
No, I disagree. I think that sort of like setup there was the whole basis where this is not Frank does not want a partner. This guy is. This
but he
guy
ends up with one.
Yeah, he does end up with one, but how many episodes did it take?
Yeah.
But Frank at that scene was a moment where he just wants to be on his own. That's all he wants to do. And this kid is going to go up and try and sort of like side up to him. And that's when he kind of like, it puts it in the place where he goes, he's never going to accept a partner. And it makes that story when Michael comes into it.
Yeah, but if
so much more worth it when it comes in.
Did you hear who the Italians were though? That he had layways to. They were the Gnocchis.
Yeah.
Which are his nemesis in the comics.
Yeah.
So cause basically this season was he's gonna clear his back sheet, right? He's gonna get everything out of the way. With his enemies, like who killed his family, and all that. But then what is his new mission going to be? And so this first kill was like kind of like going to be his next mission because the Gnocchis were the mob.
They weren't his first kills.
What?
They weren't his first kills.
In the show.
Yeah, they weren't his first kills in the show.
Yes, they were in
they
the
were.
show. What are you talking about?
It was the three builders.
Well,
that were beating
yeah,
him up.
well, okay.
And that's what the reason why he went after the mafia guys wasn't because that's where it was because that kid he's just saved. That's his one thing that he's going to do. That kid that he saved, his life's going to be useless because there was mafia. So he's kind of giving that kid a break for him to get out. But he deliberately made a point of going, I don't want you following up with me. I want you to leave town. I'm scaring the shit out of you, basically.
Yeah.
And that was what the Punisher, at that moment, that's what the Punisher needed to be because he was just a standalone guy.
All I'm just trying to say is it was dropping seeds for continuance, because he does end up making his new mission the mob. And
well, no, I mean, he doesn't even make at the end of it. He's just in the counselling. He's not made that decision yet.
He will in season 2, though.
In season 2, he will.
That's
yeah,
what
but
I'm trying to say.
that mafia thing. It's an
all I'm
Easter
talking
egg,
about
but
is-
I don't think it has.
All right, hold
anything
on.
to do with the story.
All right, reason why I bring it up, all right, because as a nerd, I follow all of this stuff. Billy Russo wasn't originally Billy Russo, right? So when they first came up with the concept of the show and they hired Ben Barnes, Billy Russo was originally going to be a character called Billy Saint. And he was going to be a mob guy and all that kind of stuff. And, I don't know where the story was going, But my point is that, then they changed it to him becoming Jigsaw, which I thought took way too long to become Jigsaw. But I still loved it all. Don't get me wrong. You'll find that we might love something that we still find problems with. But it was just the fact that instead of him going after the mob, they made it all military and then this whole thing. And it dragged out. You know how Netflix shows usually are two-part arcs. So usually, you have the army arc, and then you would went into the mob arc and stuff like that. But they just kept it straight on.
What I liked about it was it needed that full series to fully explain the PTSD aspect that this is definitely taking. Because you can't take a subject like PTSD, and especially the way that the Punisher has been in the comic books, how everything in his psychology is made up from it. You can't just skip through those. You needed Billy Russo, who is his best friend. You needed him to betray him and build that betrayal up. That's why
which was fantastic.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay,
you needed the counselling sessions. You needed his friend who was kind of like a doc. He's supposed to
be in the comics. Curtis is supposed to be a little bit more of a bad guy.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about his backstory?
No, I don't.
And everything like that. So I mean, even though he was played up as more of a saint kind of character, and man, beaten with your own leg, that's pretty much
he kind of got it a little bit rough in the end.
He got it a lot rough, and then even after he's healed, he did get shot again. I mean, come on, man. I hate to be Frank's friend. But either way is okay. Let's move on. So now Frank has that first arc in the first 2 episodes and everything, and that's when the whole army thing kind of like
Yeah.
gears up. Micro was introduced. I love the glasses, by the way. That was all cool. And then it takes them a while to get this friendship.
I love the fact that it was proper Punisher, the way that Frank Castle found out this guy, knew about him, was following him, and Frank's thing wasn't to panic. Well, he panicked a little bit, but then he was like, right, I need to know who this guy is. As soon as he did, he went round to his wives and just got run over by a car like just brought into it. And it is that kind of like that Punisher thing, which is just taking it to the extreme. You knew he was ready to kill them.
Yeah.
So like he was ready to kill them as soon, but then once he kind of like realised where it was. But that was a very Punisher moment, and the way that he kind of like kidnapped Micro and did the way Micro played on the psychology aspect, doing the repetitive pattern.
Yeah.
But it took that sort of like Frank being made completely vulnerable and taken away, but that trust still being there, that gun on him, because that's all Frank knew, his gun. It's sort of like, you take his gun away, you're an enemy. You give him his gun, you're not a friend, but you're kind of like, you're an ally.
So then we are introduced to C. Thomas Howell as Carson Wolf, and like now this was great because I'm a kid of the '80s, right? Looking at the Soul Man or what's that, The Hitcher, I mean C. Thomas Howell, he's grown up well. But I mean, what I also liked, not just about in that fight sequence in between him and the Punisher, but also when Punisher had to fight like different other people. It wasn't like punch, you're down. Like Micro's out, right?
No,
but I mean that was some hardcore fighting, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. At this point, these are the same guys that have trained, and they've trained at the exact same thing that Frank has been trained for. What is it that makes a difference between? What is it that elevates the Punisher above just these normal special forces?
He's used to pain.
It's not just that. It is just he has this ability to just walk through pain. It's just like that, and John Bernthal did that well to kind of like, as soon as he gets shot, he's like, boom, all that, as we said before, just kind of like proper pumping up. So every single step that he made felt like an adrenaline injection had just gone through him, and just that's how it felt when he was doing the combat, and that's what put him above the guy, and that's what put him above Jigsaw, and that's what put him above everyone else. That is just this sheer determination and ignorance that of all pain and anything like that.
Yeah,
and that's what
speaking of his pain, I mean, you gotta talk about his happy place.
Oh, yeah, I mean, to be fair, most people's happy place is probably that one, it would definitely go,
I'm not dying from this pain, I'm just...
it's sort of like that sort of scene. I'd just quickly like to go on to Medina.
Yeah, well, we were going to go to her next,
absolutely awesome in that role. She played the role really well of this whole initial, I've got to capture it, I've got to control the situation, to just understanding. It was like 24. It was like a 24 sort of like series with her, with this whole thing of the unraveling of the conspiracy, and then understanding that basically Frank Castle is gonna be the only way through this whole thing. And again, that's very comic booky. I mean, we place Homeland Security with S.H.I.E.L.D., and how many comic books have you seen that happening where they're like, okay, we just got to kind of let him go.
Like to think about Medina is like two things. One is I heard people complaining that what was up with the lisp, which I found great because it was a bit of imperfection that I always like a person having. She has a lisp.
I didn't notice.
Well, okay, you didn't notice. Maybe you have a lisp. I have a lisp too, but still, she had a lisp.
No, I noticed.
I'm just saying, people complained about the lisp.
Why complain about that stuff?
I'm just saying it was good. I'm just liking that in character that she had one. But like the thing about it is,
do you think that was an actual character choice?
So some people said it as if it was.
I'm missing it. I'm missing something in this character. Okay, so like,
maybe I should have a lisp, not like a big lisp, but I have a lisp.
I look absolutely fantastic with all my clothes off. What imperfection can I give my character to make him more believable? I'll give her a lisp. That'll make people overlook how hot.
Anyway, she at first I thought her motivation was the cop who was killed by Castle and in this kind of hard place, whatever it was. I at first I was like, what is it that's driving her so much to find out about this? And it's like, why? You know, on one hand, it's like, was there a relationship?
I think that there was something missing. I think they never said that there was a relationship. Like
yeah, no, I know, because we got her parents, so it wasn't like, because at first I thought it was her brother or something like that. You know what I mean? And this was a personal mission for her, but
I thought the whole reason for her to do it at the beginning felt like it was a dedication. He was her source. He needed her. She felt like she let him down. And there was that drive. But closer towards the end, the way that she reacted when he said that he killed him, you know. But to be honest, it was a similar reaction to the way after Billy Russo kind of like killed her partner. Then so. Oh yeah, we're going to that. Kind of like little. Misdirections with the character thing, but
yeah, but so let's go to that then. Let's go to Stein and the death of Stein, because it's not just that, you know, we always get that character that the audience likes, you know, that you find relatable and everything, and you know, and he will do anything for her. He was a sidekick, but that death scene. You know, like, you know, because
that choking on the blood.
It was like he wanted to tell her something with his eyes, with his choking.
I thought he was trying to say "pretty boy."
I thought that was coming too. But it was so powerful that it looked like it's like say it, because she still didn't know. But then here's the final nail in the coffin: that when she's in the bathtub. And then it's revealed that he's there. What a fucking... Kind of like, this is why you rub his face in the glass.
The way his character kind of like evolved. You kind of like, there was always, he's a friend with Frank, he's trying to look after him. Then you saw him with his mother.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was just kind of like thrown in, but
but that, you know, that's kind of like, that was because at that moment, it was where it was kind of like he hadn't, just being unveiled that he was kind of like who he was.
A little bit psychotic, a little bit like American Psycho.
And it was needed that kind of thing to show where, you know, this guy, when he came back from friggin' Afghanistan, went out, hunted down his mother who'd abandoned him somewhere, put her in a home, and kept her drugged up. I mean, that is next levels. And it's so
serious
like,
next level.
that was his kind of like, his outlet for every shit that had gone wrong in Kandahar and everything that had gone wrong. It's like, now that's gone. Frank's going to be the target for that. And I think that's kind of like what...
So, anyway, so then we got her bosses. Like, I just think we should mention, what's the name of, Master, the woman from Scarface. The lady, the CIA. She's from Scarface. Right, Gloria Mastroniani.
Mary Elizabeth Mastriani.
Yeah, thank you, James. Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Mastriani. And Tony Plana. Now, usually a guy like that, her boss, would have gone, he would have been the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was so glad that he wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
usually that would have been one of those things. And she had some serious agenda, but at least she also has some goodness in her, you know, and everything like that. Because this also leads to the Rollins Agent Orange guy, you know what I mean? So
it was him, you're right. I was really surprised that he wasn't involved in.
I'm glad he wasn't.
Her, I am under no illusionment that she is not good in any way, shape, or form. She, as soon as she found out about it, she deliberately was like, "I don't want this touching me. You get rid."
Yeah, she's bad, but she's just not a part of that.
Yeah, she wasn't a part of that, but she was bad. There was no argument there. So it's, you know.
So then we got our young PTSD Lewis. Now again, I heard previously that he was going to be Nuke, but then I was like, how is he going to be Nuke? Because Nuke was in Jessica Jones. You know, but he was going to be a Nuke type character, so he became a bomber or something like that. But, you know, at first it's like, all right, we're hearing all these Punisher War Journal stories, and we got this thing, and then why are we following this kid? But then he becomes really integral. Very good. But how he became integral into the story, because he wasn't a part of Frank's story. No. You see what I mean? We just saw a background story that's
one of the great things about this series.
That's what I'm saying.
You had this kid was going through almost the same stuff that Frank was going through. This whole PTSD movement, and okay, it was very clear. What's the difference between what Frank does and what this kid does? Basically, I mean, that's kind of like...
Well, that's what he thought. He even said to Frank that, look, we thought you were dead, and somebody had to take over your mission.
Yeah, and so it was a good thing to kind of like show why in Frank's head He's different, even from the very beginning. I hate bombers. Even before he knew what I hate bombers.
Yeah, because they're cowards.
Yeah, they're
He'd
cowards.
rather be right in your face, showing you that I'm blowing your head off.
Your head off. And it's sort of like, I mean, that they needed it, but that kid was absolutely amazing. That standoff, that episode 8 or 9, something like that, was just nail biting stuff. And
and that brings us to our big Rashomon episode with Karen Page. Like how we see the same story in the because now what fooled me was I was like, how did Karen get a gun in her purse and everything? And then I remembered that when the kid, when Frank had her hostage, he gave her the gun and stuff like that. But it was oh man, it was just a killer episode. And
again, it's sort of like. Just brilliantly tied into sort of like where puts everybody where the alliances are. The police are definitely anti-Frank. Dean is coming along the way of going. No, I mean when Russo kind of like when she gets
having the gun standoff and everything.
That's that moment of realization where I've got this a little bit reversed and sort of like where it needs
and that's
to go.
in the stairwell. That's what he discovers. And speaking of stairwell. We don't have our usual Netflix scenario with the hallway fight, the corridor sequence, and I think in the trailer it felt like the stairwell was going to be that stairwell sequence from Daredevil season 2. I loved it when he jumped off the thing with the shoulder kind of but we didn't need it because he was blowing heads off.
I mean, this is it. This is it. So what I like every single moment, it felt like a Call of Duty kind of moment when he kind of comes in.
Thankfully, they didn't give us that first person shooter.
Yeah, but he kind of comes through. He's got his gun up here. It's just like every corner. Yeah, that's kind of again, it's John Bernthal just knocking it out of the park. And kind of just. Everything. Yeah.
So bringing us down to the end and everything, because we got to do is that the son, when the family finds out that good old Pete is the Punisher, and the son does what he thinks is the right thing and calls in a tip line, and then Rollins sends his people for the family. And now it's kind of like every time, it's kind of like you're urging Michael, go to your family, go do something. And then now he finally has to go and, and meet up with his daughter and stuff, which was kind of like tender and nice and everything. And that sequence with the gas cans tied to their back.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I mean, that, the prisoner exchange scene. Yeah. I mean, it was just really good. There was something,
it was great because, we saw him pull something out of his pocket. But didn't put 2 and 2 together that they were going to be blood bags and stuff like that. So we already knew that they had a plan and everything. I thought it was cleverly executed and stuff. But the gas cans in the back was. But then to have his wife watch him die a second time and stuff like that, giving up to that confrontation and the police thing where she had to
it definitely puts the reason why she would go and slap him at the once she get into the safe thing. It puts them through the emotional bowels. Rotten.
But I only wanted
well executed plan. It was sort of
I only wanted to bring it up because it brings us down to the end where Frank drops Michael off at the house, and the family's making dinner. It makes me think of Lethal Weapon. Did you think Frank was going to get out of that car?
No, I mean
I wanted him to get out of that car. No, I said, look, this is Lethal Weapon, motherfuckers.
It's the way that it left it was the Punisher. The way that I felt that it ended it was the Punisher could end there. They might not make a second. So if they don't get the permission to make a second series, that is a lovely 11-hour movie story that kind of feels a bit like the old the old revenge movies, Dirty and Dirty Harry, kind of like just. It felt like that.
Like you could hang up your guns.
Yeah. The way that it ended,
I thought he was going to be Uncle Frank, like Billy was Uncle Billy.
But that's it. He doesn't want that. That's part of his journey on that section is gone. It's time for him to move into recovery, and it's going to be in the next series. It's going to be kind of if they do a next series. How do you break Frank out of that recovery thing? Because he's got to face facts. Because really, the main motivation for him being the Punisher is done.
Well, this is true, but I think in that scene, let's talk about that horrific final confrontation with Rollins, is that in his happy place, he kind of has to let his wife go, You know, he knows he is home.
Yeah.
This is who he is. I don't think in the end, I don't think he's found recovery. I think he's found acceptance. And I think he's found acceptance in the fact that he's not doing it anymore for his wife and kids. He's doing it because this is who he is. That's what I think he means when he said, I am home.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you know. And I mean, that scene was brutal. It was seriously brutal.
I mean,
I hate eye gouging. It's just
that torture scene was pretty spectacular in just how brutal it was getting. I love like the Russo kind of like just slipping in, kind of like
see, you know, hey, I'm still your boy. I'm still your boy.
I love the fact that Frank, when they put the chair over to him, we've already taken the gun from there, and then he's got that. Oh no, I've got the knife under the chair, so I'll just stab you with that as well. But shout out to Micro. I thought the guy, he was.
Hold on, Jasmine, call your mother on your phone out there. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I thought Micro was absolutely amazing. I thought he was a really good character. I loved the fact that he was very clearly not an actiony guy.
A what guy?
Actiony guy.
What's an actually guy?
Actiony.
Oh, actiony. Actiony. Yes. I know. One punch and he's out.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean?
So, but, definitely didn't really want to be doing it. But, oh man, the forest scene. I forgot. The forest scene. How good was that?
That was great. I mean, great use of drones and everything like that, you know, and the battle wagon, you know, and let us. I mean, Micro is the original man in the van. When they talk about the man in the van, Microchip from the comics was the original man in the van. So anyway, so let's end this. So like,
we can talk quickly about Gotham if you caught up with Gotham.
Well, no, we'll do that again. But let's end this. So like, so Billy Russo becomes Jigsaw, you know, because he does a final confrontation at the carousel where it all began for Frank and everything. And I mean, he like rips his face to shreds. And you're wondering, okay, when he got shot in the face, then okay,
yeah.
But then that's not enough. Frank is like, you need to, every time you look at yourself, you need to see me.
Yeah,
and
that was very effective. I'd sort of like to say he's definitely going to. I think he's it was just.
Awesome. I mean, even though all bandaged up, he still was like.
You can see. You can see.
I'm coming back.
Planning, kind of like you know, he's going to proper turn completely mental.
Yeah, man. Villains don't have to always die, dude. They let them live so they come back. Vengeance.
I will be honest. I mean, I was hoping that maybe we would have seen a few more kind of like Punisher-y moments. Kind of like maybe a Russian guy coming over.
Well, yeah, but again, it would have been too much for this story, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that there was definitely moments when when they hired the other mercenaries.
Yeah.
So like, in the mercenary squad, there being a Russian guy that he's kind of like talking to. You know, just maybe a little bit. Of some, but
so, all right, predictions season 2.
Well, Jigsaw will come back.
Of course.
Blow up his recovery.
And the Gnocchi family.
Maybe he'll work for the Gnocchi family.
I think he will.
And he'll blow up the recovery centre. And that'll be the instigator for Frank to kind of like just go out and start his revenge thing.
Yeah.
Curtis will probably be backing him up in a semi-micro role instead of actually going, but maybe a bit more like henchman.
Or kill Curtis.
I think Micro will be left out of this series, possibly until the next one, up until the end. Because, Micro won't want to get involved unless his wife and kids are dead.
But no, you can't do this without Micro.
No,
I think Michael will become one of those weekend guys, you know, because the way, even though Michael got some love from his wife, Michael was bored.
Yeah, but no,
he was bored playing board games with his kid.
Yeah, but I could see Micro kind of like setting him up with stuff and then leaving Curtis to kind of like do everything. Frank turning up at his door, Uncle Frank, kind of like come in, him shitting it, then him going, look, I can't do it, but I can provide you, this is all you need, and then Curtis will sit there and do all that stuff.
I don't know. You like to think that, but I wouldn't think that.
But
I think Micro is like, about time you come back for me.
Yeah,
that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, his wife and kids need to die before he'll start considering that again.
Well, okay. Anyway, so, I mean, out of 5?
5.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 assault rifles.
Yeah. There's just no sort of like there's no doubt. It's sort of like the best sort of like 11 hours of TV I've seen.
So I mean Netflix is kicking it.
I think it was better than Jessica Jones. I thought it was better than Iron Fist. Probably on the same par as Daredevil and Luke Cage.
Well, we got Daredevil season 3 coming, and Punisher comes back. So, I mean, hopefully, Frank shows up too.
No, he doesn't need to. That's the beauty.
He doesn't need to, but hopefully he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be maybe go back to San Francisco as a hipster again.
Yeah, okay, fine. All right. Anyways, so that was like a full season review of The Punisher. We had a full-on binge with that. That was great. And, I want to thank James for joining me in the studio. And I'm Jason, with the Essentials. And, we out, man. So. Color.